That was perfect.
Well, hello, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome to Modern Figures Podcast.
Season 5.
Whoop, whoop. New setup. Who this?
Just for probably today. Maybe one more time
I
this
don't know why we had to get so fancy today.
It was your idea.
It was. It definitely was.
Or maybe it was my idea when I saw the new couch.
Maybe. But regardless, we're glad to be here. We have this setup. We're, just trying out some new things. If you saw us on one of our Instagram lives where we were trying out a new podcast studio, which will never ever again be
Oh
filmed.
my goodness. No. It was a dungeon, y'all. Like a dungeon.
It's actually a dungeon. The dungeon they put inside the dungeon. Like once you're in the dungeon, they have a back room dungeon.
But the coffee was good, and so was this. Did I have a scone? What did I eat there?
I think it was a scone.
I think it was a scone. It was good.
I had a very nice cheddar biscuit. I mean, they're great when it comes to food, but not podcast studios at all. It's definitely a bait and switch. We looked, do not recommend, 0 out of 10. When we looked at the description online, it was beautiful. There's flowers, there's chairs and plants and wildlife. And we're like, oh, yes, we can get into this. We get there. It is a literal dungeon.
There were like wires hanging from the ceiling.
It was bad. Big bad.
But we're set free from that.
Yes.
To Kyla's faculty appointment.
Wow. And we're here in my living room.
Fireplace.
Right. We should put on the fireplace
No, we should
sometime.
not.
No, not now.
Okay.
Yeah, no. We would die. Like sitting this close to it, I think we would actually die.
That's too close.
Yes. So we have an extra special guest today. Us. Surprise. So
We have a lot to talk about. I mean, so much has happened. We've kind of been a little MIA.
when was our last episode released? Do you remember?
Let's not talk about it. It's
I feel
bad.
like it was like maybe May or
That's so bad.
June.
It's so bad.
Something like that. But we went to CRA. We gave them episodes from there. If you're on YouTube, check us out on YouTube. We had little mini episodes. And we went to the CRA conference talking to folks there. So we didn't completely leave, we just didn't post.
But it was a hard year for us.
Yeah, we had a lot going on.
There's a lot going on. So my father passed away from stage 4 prostate cancer, which has still been hard to process. It's January. It's the beginning of 2024.
Yeah, it is January.
So we went through the holidays and all of that, and I'm a mess, but I'm here.
But you're gonna get through it.
Yeah, I'm here, and talking about it. The more I talk about it, the better I feel. The more I process it, and I have been to therapy, so I have the skills to get through it. But I still may end up in a therapist's office because grief is hard.
Everybody needs therapy, and you can grieve so many things. And even therapists, I feel like, and grief counselors, nobody grieves the same way. And therapists need therapists because everybody is jacked up in their own special way. So you need somebody to help you get unjacked up or build up the coping mechanisms to get through whatever it is you're getting through. So it's a continual process. Yes, my news. It is, as we said, January. So I think in 3.5 months, there will be another person. The person currently lives right here. Or he or she is hanging out right here, constantly playing parkour, breakdancing, moving furniture, just doing
baby gummy bear.
Bear, because on the ultrasound it's like a little gummy bear. The gummy bear did a forward flip during one of the ultrasounds, and I looked at the tech like, I know you saw that. I know you saw that. And she was like, yeah, I need to measure the baby, but they need to stop moving.
Babies are wild.
So it's just a wiggly squiggly in there. Breakdance parkour baby. But we're super excited. We are super nervous, super everything, but very, very we can't wait till the day comes. We can see a little squishy face. I hope that on the sonogram, I can already see my cheeks. Like the baby has my cheeks.
Okay, well, I mean, that's a great sign because a day
I think it looks nice. I'm just so curious, like what mashing together of our genes
I
this
don't know.
baby's gonna have.
Mara looks like on most days nothing like me. So
I think she looks like you all the time.
okay. But you like are always around me and she's like a mini version of me because of
Yes,
how she behaves and stuff.
this is true.
Um, but she looks like Rod. When she came out, she looked just like him.
That's true. I was like, that is Rod's baby.
Not a child. I had no contribution other than I produced her physical life into
But
the
then
world.
she also grew, and then she grew into her features and looked more like you. But then Rod showed me the picture of him as a kid, and I'm like, okay, y'all as kids, like she looks like both of y'all as kids.
So you might get a weird combo baby, which sorry to this kid.
Not sorry to this kid. Oh my gosh.
I'm just kidding. I love a day.
But yes, we're tax day, April 15th is when we're due. So we gotta file our taxes early because we got other stuff to worry about around that
Well, what's
time.
important about this conversation is that her first trimester
Oh my gosh.
was during the time where we would have otherwise
Yes, we would have been recording. And
videos, and then also the loss of my father was at the same time. So we weren't really in a position to record anything about anybody
sure wasn't.
anywhere.
Because we're taking our own advice. We're protecting our peace.
Mhm.
And not to say that the podcast is not peaceful, but we were at like a limit at life where it was like, this is how much I can handle right now. And we're not going to add more to it to give us more stress. So if you're seeing this, we back here with the jump off. So we're here. What
Let's
else?
see. We did a keynote.
Yeah, we did a keynote at NC Wit Summit. That
Mhm.
went really, really well.
And from that, we got a lot of opportunities to like do more things.
Yes, and you'll see some of those people that we connected with this season, either at the summit or at the Tapia conference. We connected with some folks. So we met some really cool folks because, as you probably noticed on the show, we have a lot of people who we've known for years. So this season, we have a lot more people who have moved into our orbit that we're getting to know. So we're excited about that.
Kind of cool because, I mean, we still have a ridiculous list of everybody
Oh,
who,
yeah.
I mean, it's
We have
ridiculous.
a list of people who we're scheduling, who we have scheduled, and who we want to schedule. So
Yeah.
it's a continuum. There's people because everybody's busy.
And then there's people who want to come back.
Yeah, we have people that want to come back. They're like, "Oh yeah, I did this year, but let me tell y'all about what I'm doing now." So we're excited. You want to talk about? Do we talk about the grant?
Oh
It was not
no.
on the notes, but we forgot to talk about that.
We got basically almost $300,000
Hey,
from the
where the
National
money reside? Where
Science.
the money reside? Where the money reside? Where the money reside?
And so I'm super excited. It was like a match made in heaven in terms of like what we do and the program officer and program
Yeah.
that we submitted to. So it is the Computer Science Directorate program, broadening participation in computing, and we submitted a development project.
Yes, I
And
believe that's the designation.
I think that's what it's called. Don't quote me. But yeah, so we did that and
Submitted in January, like, basically a year ago.
it was wild. It was
It
wild.
was crazy.
We had like 3 weeks,
Yeah,
and I was like
went through a lot.
I was struggling, and
Yeah,
Kyla had
because you
to, like,
got sick
carry
and,
us
like,
through because
because
I
there was so much going on, like, even our grant officer got sick, like, there was one night where I was like, "Here's a list of all the outstanding items. I'm going to bed." But we got it in, like
I have never cried from submitting a proposal before, but I cried when that proposal was submitted because I was just so
it
emotional.
was so much, and we were trying to go on a trip because it actually wasn't due.
Around this time,
Yeah, because we met with the program officer, like, either Christmas Eve or the day
it was the
before Christmas
23rd,
Eve. It was the 23rd.
12/23,
We had a
2020.
We have a meeting about, "Oh, yeah, we're thinking it's just a casual talk about maybe some grant that's gonna come out more forward into 23." He's like, "Yeah, I want y'all to, submit to this thing, and oh, when's it due?" January 18th, and we're like, "Hmm, backtrack, our university needs it
Math, math.
by" Right, math, 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 we got a week to do it. So, we decided again, we're not about to do keep our entire break doing work, so we're like, "You know what?
So
We are going to
we
revisit
waited.
this."
We waited until after Christmas because I
Yeah.
was like, "I'm celebrating Christmas. I ain't thinking about
Yeah.
this."
And we talked to the key players though that day, the people who we needed to we had some ideas, so we're like, "Okay, this is what we wanna do. Let's get people in line so that they know in the new year we're coming in hot
And we
with
did, like,
some stuff."
legit, like, 12-hour days where it was just, like,
Yeah.
us sitting together, writing, eating,
Yeah.
drinking coffee.
Yeah.
Just
That cricket
nonstop,
meme.
nonstop. Um, and then we got to the point where I had an emotional breakdown.
It was a lot, but it was a distraction that I needed. Like I really needed that distraction during that time. But we got it in. We got great reviews. I mean, it's a great. I was like, if they fund this, I can't wait. I cannot wait.
My first
Yes.
proposal, award, whatever you wanna call it, as a PI.
Yep. Jeremy's the lead PI.
Amazed to be the principal investigator of an NSF proposal.
You're not a private eye.
No, not that
Uh-huh.
kind. No, wrong
Uh-uh.
one. Um, but, like, to have that and for me, it's like, "Okay, I'm getting tenure." Like, that's where I'm at
Yeah.
emotionally. It's like, "Okay, check the boxes
Yep.
for being a tenure track faculty member." One of them is to lead your own grant,
Correct.
and I have done that. On everything else that I'm on, I'm, like, a co-lead
Right.
or a supporting person,
Or whatever it is that they
however
wanna
they call it, whatever.
call it. Yeah. So this is exciting. Do we wanna tell them what to look out for
Yeah,
in terms of the
so
grant?
I think the biggest thing is we're gonna be places, so look for
We out here in these
we'll
streets.
be putting up information, which we can do because it's been approved by our conflicts of interest. But, sharing with y'all places that we're gonna be to gather information about Black women and girls in computing. Jamaica Bird, our
Yes.
fave, is our advisor,
Yes.
and so we're working with her and one of our favorite evaluators, the
That's
peer
right.
group,
Yep, the group led by
and
Dr. Yvette Pearson.
Dr. Pearson is fabulous.
Yeah.
And so Yvette and her team are gonna help ensure that we do stuff.
What we said we was gonna do.
Whatever we wrote the thing, we're gonna do those things.
Gonna do the thing.
We've already started analyzing data, from podcast episodes, which is really cool.
Yeah, finding some themes, common themes. Like there's some that we have seen anecdotally, but it's good to actually have research done to, to pull out other themes that we may have
And
missed.
interestingly, like, so far, everybody on the team is a Black woman.
Just saying. That's in this space, that's a little difficult.
To have Black women work on Black women things
Right.
is really cool.
Because we don't need people interpreting us with their lens. Not to say that it's wrong, but sometimes people just don't understand us,
Yeah.
and they may read or code something as one behavior when it's not actually that behavior.
So we'll be commissioning some literature reviews from folks. So
Yeah.
if you're in the research space with Black women and girls in computing, you may hear from me or Kyla or somebody on
Or
this
both of us. Right.
group, and inviting you to help us collect, analyze, review what's out there about Black women and girls because we think
Yeah.
we know there are gaps.
There's many gaps. There's also lots of efforts that are happening that overlap but are also disparate. So
And a lot of those efforts may not have research around them.
right.
And so that's really our biggest thing is like, how do we build capacity for research on Black women and girls in computing? That's our goal through
Right.
the
We
grant.
want to bring together all the people who are doing work in this space. So if you know somebody, send them our way. Or if you are that somebody, shoot us an email. But we want to make basically the research landscape here, like the same way, you go to a conference, you figure out like for any sort of other scientific conference. Okay, these are the questions, these are the problems. We have this sort of idea of where the field is going. We don't really have that for Black women in computing in that space. So,
Mhm.
what is the trajectory? Can people start collaborating so we don't duplicate efforts? Can we, what is still left to be known? What do we already know? So, just making this sort of research consortium.
Yeah, and we chose to work with Jamaica and Black Compute Her really
Computer,
Black
a
Computer. So Black Computer already has a repository of literature from Black women in computing,
yes,
but not necessarily focused on Black women in computing and
right,
Black women and girls in computing. And so there's that small distinction, but because they've already done a lot of this work, right? Like the fellows that are
right.
part of that group, they exist and they're doing great work. So we want to work together,
Yes,
practice what we preach, right? Like
exactly.
we're not just trying to do this just because it's literally our heart and
Yeah.
what
And
we
that's why literally the first person we thought of was Jamaica to because we knew this was something that Black Computer had been talking about and wanting to do and had efforts in for quite some time. So we're like, if we're going to do this, y'all have to be part of this because technically you started it. You laid the groundwork. You are this. So we're happy that they are partners with us on this. Like it's going to be great.
so it's a 2-year project, so we'll be out and about and doing things for at least a couple of years.
We talk
Um,
about the commissioned reports. Like if someone's watching and is like, "Hey, I would like to."
yeah, if you think that that's you, like if you're somebody who wants to write up some stuff, like send me an email.
Yes,
Like
so the some stuff is when we look at the themes, I believe we're going to then have people go and do a literature review, a scoping review rather, of the literature in that space. So we need people. We'll pay you. You're not just
yeah,
doing this for free.
we're gonna start with literature reviews just so that we have
The background,
the understanding, right? And then we'll have like all of the literature around these topics, but then we're gonna do a larger scoping review, right? So the scoping review is related but not the same as these commissioned reports.
right?
But y'all get money if you do a report.
You get money, and it's we timed it so it could be over the summer. So let's say if you're faculty, you don't have like a summer month, or if you're a grad student getting your PhD and you need some money over the summer, we can pay you to do this report. So
Mhm.
yeah,
It'll be cool. Our first event will be us attending Black Issues in Computing Education. It's an IEEE supported conference put on by our
I'll be there in
friend
spirit.
Dr. Kenneth O'Shea at Morehouse College,
Yep.
and he was like, "Y'all got something. I know you got something." So we decided to submit a workshop there. So
Yeah,
that'll be the first time this stuff kind of appears in front of a public audience. So I'm
yeah.
really excited.
Seriously, like that's gonna be it's gonna be the first piece of like really
Grass.
good feedback. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
I
I'm
like it
excited.
too. Yes, I'm excited. I won't be there at the Black Issues in Computing Education, but I'll be there in spirit. I'm gonna send my representative
Because
because, baby, I can't fly, says my doctor. Well, I could fly then, just not to
yeah,
DR.
it's in the Dominican Republic, and we're not doing that.
Yeah, she was like, mm-mm. She was like, if you were going anywhere in the US,
Baby
yes,
gummy bear has to be here.
just in case the baby gummy bear decides to just do a tuck and roll out of my body.
Okay, what else happened?
What else happens?
Okay,
Do you have your list up?
okay,
Okay.
so we did that keynote with
Did the
NC Lit.
keynote. Yep.
I got a keynote, a plenary, topical plenary session
Oh, that's
at my
right.
major conference, which was wild. I still shout out to Dr. Bree McIntyre. Like, I don't know why I was chosen. I'm a
Ain't
baby,
fair. Favor
right?
ain't
Like,
fair.
I'm a baby in my field, but I had the chance to talk about critical mentorship, which is my research space. We brought up Dr. Dallas Villanueva and Dr. Rochelle Williams. Dr. Rochelle Williams
Mhm.
is at NESB, Black woman, amazing, over programs at their headquarters. And we just talked about like the importance of having representation in your mentorship and kind of honoring your voice and centering the voice of like the mentee
Right.
in that relationship, kind of dismantling like the power dynamics
Mhm.
that exist in mentoring relationships. And it was revolutionary for me to
Aw.
have a chance to do that. I wore hot pink and box braids.
Yes, she did.
And some really, really tall platform heels. And it was great. I felt amazing. It was really hard because it
Yeah,
was like the week we buried my dad.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But my dad also was so excited for me to have the
yeah.
opportunity to do that. Um, and
And
then
that was when we found out we got the grant too.
yeah, and then, like, while I was there, like, the day that I did my keynote, Kyla called me right afterwards and was like, "We got the grant! Look at you
I was running around
beautiful!"
like my hair was on fire around here, like, "Ah!"
So, I mean, like, talk about it's like a redemption story for me. Like, it was a really hard year, but that was, like, a huge highlight, and I'm
Yeah,
dealing with the it's hard, right? Like, you have these really high highs and these really low lows,
yeah.
but I would talk to anybody on any day. So that was really cool. Your keynote experience
Yes, I had a keynote. What keynote did I have? I feel like I have a bunch.
for free.
Child, no, the keynote they wanted me
Mhm.
to do for free. So, yes, I won't name the entity
Mhm.
or institution
For free.
or whatever it is. And
Mine was free, by the way, but I agreed to that
you agreed
because
to it.
there's the society has financial issues that they were going through,
Mm,
and I was already going. I had it all paid for already.
yeah,
It
like
didn't really matter to me. It was more for me
right.
to be a plenary speaker at my major conference than anything else.
Yeah, and that makes more sense. Like, for example, at my, like, research conferences, of course, you're going to do it for
Yeah.
free because you get exposure, you're probably already going. It's like instead of sitting in this chair, sit in this chair and talk. So,
Mhm.
that part, I don't mind. I was not already going to this place.
Right.
So, they want me to also make an entirely new slide deck, and I put a lot into my keynotes, and it was something I didn't already have, and I told them, like, "I have these topics. You want me to do one of these? Oh, no, no, no. We want you to talk about blah, 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 blah." I was like, that's going to take a long time. They wanted me to come to them. They were going to pay for that. But I'm like, I wasn't already coming here. And you want for the free? What? You want
They
my
want your labor, but they don't wanna compensate you for that.
yeah, so I'm not sure if I tweeted about this or not. I probably did, who knows? But a funny story, right after that, something about like, not asking people to do stuff that does not benefit them for
Yeah.
free. And the next day or maybe the day after, I get an email from the provost of a university that's like, "Hey, we want you to come, and here are all the dollars we will pay you to come and do this talk for this symposium that I am starting." And I'm like, "This is what you do. Let me talk to your secretary. Let's make it happen." I went, I had a great time, still in contact with some of the folks that I met there, but that is how you do it. Not saying it has to be some astronomical amount, but if I'm putting in effort to talk to whoever's at your organization, teaching them something they don't already know, and I'm also making a new resource that's not already there, you need to compensate Black and Brown scholars, men and women, for their labor because this was not something already on my to-do list.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll make an exception if it's something I've already done and they're like, "Hey, we saw your talk on," for example, I have one on DEI in the metaverse. I'll give that to anybody. If you fly me to an interesting city, I'll give that talk because I don't have to make something new. And I get to go to a new city. I get my Sky Miles or my American Airlines, whatever miles, Advantage Miles.
Mhm.
Like some stuff I don't mind. But if I'm coming up with something new and all that, so yeah, please pay people for their effort. That's the point.
100% agree. 100% agree. I mean, we do stuff for free all the time. This podcast, for example,
Correct.
we do for free. We like y'all.
Right.
But I think there's something about using my intellectual capacity for your benefit.
Yeah. In a way that does not benefit me in one
That's not it's not
iota.
okay. It's not okay. It's not okay. So, anyways, don't
Yeah,
do
so
that.
that was that.
My future purposes.
Hated it. I feel like we need to say that since we're sitting like this.
Okay. Okay. Other things are going on in the world. So while we were out, Chat GPT took the world by storm. People
Right.
don't even know the letters appropriately. And over here.
Chat GMT is doing all this. GTP,
Yeah.
GP, are you
Thinking
with
that
me?
it's
Is
taking over the
chatting.
world, like, everything is taking over the world, not true, whatever.
Right.
Um, and people have had, like, real legitimate concerns about its use in academic settings.
Yeah.
Mm, we ain't bothered.
Yeah, it's giving folks a run for their money though, because like a lot of the disciplines or classes or courses where you need to create content,
Mhm.
that is definitely now being challenged. Like for example, this past semester, I taught a class where you have to meet a writing requirement where you write 6,000 words. I'm sure 4,500 to 5,000 of those words were written by Chat GPT for some students
Yeah.
because I'm like, in class, you can't answer a question,
Mm.
but all of your written work is so polished and not even in your voice because ChatGPT does have a voice.
Yeah.
It has definitely this distinct, and also there's no checker, no reliable checker for it. So you can put the same piece of text into GPT Zero and all of these other checkers for plagiarism software, and they'll come back with vastly different scores. So there's nothing that's reliable. That's a huge issue. And even if you ask ChatGPT, you feed it in and say, "Did you write this?" It will say yes all the time. Like it's like a kid. Like, did you say? "Mhm, I did." Like, what do you know what you're admitting to?
No,
Mhm.
no. But yeah, there are some disciplines where it's, like, really concerning, like, deeply concerning that it's available and people are using it.
Yeah.
For us, it's like, how do we teach people to leverage it to support their work, right? Like, why is
Yeah.
it a bad thing?
Why is it a bad thing?
Because ultimately, if we wanna be more productive, some things may not require
Yeah,
us to
completely right.
think that much about, right?
Yeah,
Like,
or you give it bullet points. Like, sometimes it's like, "These are the bullet points. Make a paragraph that says this in language that I don't feel like articulating right
and we do
now."
that. Like, we've done it for, like, paragraphs on things that we need to write, and it's like,
Yeah.
make this sound better.
Right, I think maybe it comes down to a I paid my dues type of thing. Like,
Mhm.
if I was learning how to write, I should not be using Chat
For sure.
GPT.
Yeah.
But if I've paid my dues, learn how to write, I know what to do, I should have access to this
Mhm.
thing to actually help, and I think that's probably one of the places where the issue lies. Because with the students, I'm like, "I'm teaching you how to write." If you and I tried to, like, give them different milestones throughout the semester
Mhm.
to show, like, their writing at different stages, and then it completely changes at the end, and I'm like, "I know who wrote this."
It wasn't
It
you.
was not you.
Yeah. No, that's real. I feel like for some things, it's great to have more automation
Yeah,
than less, right? Like,
absolutely.
try to be productive, I don't got time for that. Now, I personally don't actually use it.
Mm.
I just be telling people like Kyla, like, "Can you have this do this?" And she's like, "What do you want?" "This, this, this." She has, like, a whole, like,
Yeah,
process for using ChatGPT, and
yeah.
I give her information, she gives me back what I need, and then I do what I'm go back to doing what I'm doing after I edit the information.
'Cause we could literally feed in the transcript of one of the podcasts and say, "Hey, make the show notes based on this transcript,"
Mhm.
and write it in the voice of blank,
Yeah.
and it could do that.
Samuel L. Jackson.
Take all the expletives out. That would actually I
Oh, what
kinda
else?
wanna do that. I wanna do that now. When we come out with this episode,
Please don't do it.
I am doing it now. I have to. Matter of fact, as soon as this finishes
You can
rendering,
put a
I'm
blurb
going to
underneath, like, put, like, the
like, if
actual
you were
blurb that we
listening
write.
around minute 29, this is what it's gonna say.
Hilarious.
But, but like you said, like, we have to also think about, like, how to leverage it because the students that we teach are gonna have access to it in the workforce.
Yeah.
So for I guess my my fear is that we teach students to use a crutch and they don't know what the correct answer is. Because for me, if I look at it, I'm like, oh no, that's not exactly right because I've actually learned what it's supposed to say. For them, if they use that throughout their entire career, they may not know what's right, what's wrong. I don't want to get on an airplane that one of my students Chat GPT the code for landing, and now we cannot land because the wheels won't come up because they don't know how to write code to do that.
No,
So
we don't want that.
yeah, we don't want that. So it's like, where is the line? Like, where is it a tool and where is it a crutch? And where do you tell people, okay, it's okay, it's all right in these instances.
Well, we're gonna see it, like, you have to code in the interview process.
That's
You're
true.
not gonna have Chat GPT at your fingertips to do that,
That's a good point.
and that's how people get eliminated.
But even some of these coding interviews, they're streamlining and they give you basically like a coding terminal. Like they're not making you code on the whiteboard anymore. You get a terminal so somebody could have ChatGPT in another window, but also the code it writes is garbage.
Well,
So it'll do all of
I
this
think
flowery
that's the
stuff.
thing that's the distinguisher. It's like,
Yeah,
I can tell when someone wrote this versus a machine literally wrote this.
that's true. That's true.
If I'm a recruiter, I need to be able to discern that. Like, those are the
Right.
people who are really gonna be the deciding factors, I think, for a lot of these spaces. And then you get in the job and you can't do the job, right?
Yeah. And you poorly perform. Right.
Right? So you either learn the stuff, and so there's a handful of students who understand that, and then there's, like, the minority who are just like, "I'm lazy and I'm not gonna do it."
Right. I mean, you might get your degree with it, but you can't get hired anywhere.
And they'll be the content creators.
Right. Oh gosh.
They'll be
Oh my
consultants, they'll have their own little company, and I don't know what they're gonna do, but whatever.
Mm.
You know what I'm talking about.
Consult to other consultants. I don't know.
I don't know, but they'll find a way. They
But
got
yeah,
they got, like, ways about doing stuff.
yeah, but Chat GPT is definitely there's something that, people are still trying to piece around how we're going to specifically in academia deal with it. But yeah, to be continued with this.
Speaking
Yeah.
of ethics,
Mhm.
that reminds me of the recent news of Harvard's president, Dr. Claudine Gay,
Oh my gosh.
being resignated, and I say that because she was resignated.
Right.
It wasn't a, "I'm
Against her
resigning on
will.
my will."
Right.
Um, which has been, like, kind of a hard pill to swallow, even just watching the whole process. To me, it's unfortunate to see us reach these levels and then suffer the consequences, I think, at a higher rate than any other demographic.
Yeah.
It sucks.
And literally, she came in with so much fanfare, like, okay, we have a Black woman president at Harvard, and fanfare, fanfare. And then literally, people were actively working to take her down.
I mean, even, like, without the comments that she made before Congress, right? Like, if we ignore that, which I know is, like, a very difficult thing for some people to do, what she's experiencing, like, to have a vehicle parked outside of your residence,
Yeah,
having people stalk you and
it is
send
unprecedented.
you messages, do all of that, like, that's a lot.
It's a lot. And other people in her position have not had that happen.
Yeah.
So she's trying to be a whole university president with all this
And
extraness.
the other presidents who were in that hearing who made unfortunate comments as well, like, they aren't dealing with that either,
Not at
right?
all. They don't know what it's like.
Their academic integrity is not being questioned. They're not being stalked and harassed at the same levels, which stalking and harassing is terrible, period, but all I'm saying is if I look out my window and I see a car
Right.
regularly there
Right. We gonna have some problems.
and I don't have a security detail because 'cause I'm just a university president,
Right. Like, they can't be that dumb. Like, people cannot be that dumb.
I'm out.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's extremely unfortunate.
Yeah, and there's a whole host of Black people talking about this now, like, Black academic leaders. Black thought is terrifying to some folks.
Yes. Yes, because people, they're afraid of being the minority.
Mhm.
So it's like, oh, if she gets here, then she's just gonna oust all of us.
Yeah,
So it's that fear mindset that makes people act crazy.
and we live in Florida, right? So it's not
Right.
like we're unaware of what that looks like.
Right. Exactly.
There are people who are afraid to work at our university.
Yeah,
They won't come here.
they will not come here. Like, I can say that the majority of the applicants that we get for our PhD program are people unaffected by these things. So, that'll tell you.
Mhm. Like, we aren't applying. Grad students are not applying,
Nope.
faculty not applying, people who are leaders in their space refuse to come here, including,
Yeah,
like, whole organizations, right?
yeah.
We're
The
not
NSBE
having
conference pulled out of
I
Orlando,
don't wanna talk about it. I'm
and
so annoyed. Like, I'm
yeah.
so upset, and now it's on my birthday, and I'm mad.
Mm.
I'm mad because I guess I do wanna talk about it. I'm mad because
I don't wanna talk about it. Proceeds to talk about it.
I'm mad because Georgia has the same laws.
They have
Like,
the
it would
same
be
issues.
one
Yes.
thing if we went to a state that, has, I don't know, the panacea for Blackness,
Right.
right? Like,
If we
we
were
went somewhere
in,
else.
I don't
I don't know
know,
what that is.
Pacific Northwest
Somewhere
where
else.
everybody's a hippie.
Somewhere else, right? Fine. But to go to Georgia,
Right.
like, they've had these laws on their books. They've been
Right.
dry, right? We just signed it.
Mhm.
I mean, you wanna make a statement, make a statement.
But it's more so the optics, where
Optics
right now Florida is what's in the news so that they can be like,
superficial to
yeah,
me, right? Like, if you wanna be about it, be about it. Like,
right.
don't do it half done.
And it's super superficial. I was like, if you wanted to do it, it should have been an HBCU in Florida. So at least if all that money is coming
I
somewhere,
wanted them to come here, they gotta do whatever hotel chain, whatever,
yeah.
regardless, right? Like, so that's a whole other conversation to have, right? But spend your money places that piss them off, right?
Exactly.
Go to Disney, right?
Right. If you're trying to piss off the
Stay
government.
in the Disney
Right, stay at
hotels.
all the Disney resorts. Give
Have it in
Mickey
a
Mouse
Disney
all your
comfort
money.
zone, right? Like, go do stuff in the
Yeah,
Black community in Orlando, which
exactly.
desperately needs support.
Absolutely.
Instead, we're just gonna go somewhere where Black people exist, but in the same climate, in the same political environment,
Right.
with just people who are a little bit more subversive with how they attack politics than our loud, outspoken politician.
Yeah, whose name will not
Yikes.
be spoken on this, podcast.
Yeah.
Great.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's it.
But I
That's all I
feel
have to
like
say.
it happened and was decided without any buy-in or feedback from people actually in Florida. Like, even our
Yeah.
dean was just like, "What do? We want to attract Black
Our dean
students."
was ready to
He didn't write a
mobilize
letter.
every
He wa
dean in the state. Like,
Yes.
he was
Yeah.
team, let's let's show them who we are in
Right.
this state for real.
Like, he was sincerely hurt, and mind you, he doesn't have like, he's a white man, like, he's not it's not like we have a black dean who's like, "I'm so sad that black people leave." He's like, he's a white man who gets it, and was like, "How do we show them? How do we tell them? How do we let them know?" And we had to sadly, I think both of us on different occasions spoke to him about it and had to just let him know, like, this is it's gone, it's optics, they're not gonna turn on a dime like that, even though they turn on a dime to, to change it and put it somewhere else. It's already out. Like, when NAACP says that a place is not safe to travel, a national Black organization is going to heed said warning. So,
Which
which
sucks
is
because it's
unfortunate.
like, I'm Black and I'm here.
Right. So what about Black people that's here? And people be like, that's your fault for living in Florida. But also, you can't disrupt from the outside. You need to disrupt from the inside. Like, literally, our very presence is flies in the face of people who think we shouldn't be in our positions. So what do we look like
And
leaving
where are
or
we
moving?
running
And where we go? Who got it better? Who got it better? In my Tony Baker
to?
voice,
Where are we
who got
going?
it better? Tell me. Tell me.
Anyways,
Right. Moving on. Hated it.
I'm gonna be in Atlanta. Y'all wanna find me? My birthday's gonna be on Saturday.
I might be in
You can
Atlanta.
send me a present.
It's gonna be a game time decision. because it's like 4.5 hours from here. So driving, I think I would be fine.
Fine.
My husband's gonna be there too. So I would have a hotel room
And a husband.
and a husband there. So if something happens, I would just have to be in labor for 4.5 hours down the road, which I mean, I don't know. We'll see how things are progressing around that time. It's literally gonna be a game time decision for me if I end up there.
Imma be there. Okay, what else? We have all the things. There was an article.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Do you wanna bring up the title of it? I don't have it readily available, but I can pull
No, it's fine. I got it.
it.
Please
Sorry,
don't leak
those are
over.
my leaning over noises.
It's from by Jandra Sutton. It
Yes.
says, "Don't do what you love. Do what lets you have the life you want." And
Yes.
Kyla wants to talk about that.
I would like to talk about it because it's like we get fed the message so much like, oh, live your passion, execute your dream. If you don't wake up with that on your mind and your heart, what are you doing in life? And then this completely just flies in the face of it. It's like, look, do what you need to do to afford what you want to do in life. And I feel like that's around where I am right now. Yes, I enjoy what I do, but there's other things I enjoy in life, and what I do allows me to afford those things. So instead of thinking of your job having to be your passion, what about your passion is your passion and your job is just a vehicle to
Your
get
job is
there?
your job. I'm in a space of I just wish people would do their job.
That
Like,
part.
do your job,
Be your job.
right? Like, if everybody just did their job,
Telling you.
you know how much more efficient we would be as a country?
Right. Just do what you're supposed to do. Nothing
Imma
more,
say that.
nothing less.
Like, if you don't like your job, get a new one.
Right. Don't
You know what I
penalize
mean?
the rest of us because
Go
you don't
somewhere
want to be
else,
there.
right? If you don't wanna do the work, get out the way, right? Because somebody else will do the work.
Correct.
But there's so many people who just wanna be, "I need to be happy, and this isn't fill me,
Right.
this
Nothing
isn't."
fulfills
Yeah,
me.
and it's just like, can you not? Like, everything is not gonna fulfill you. Even your spouse.
Yes. You need to be a whole person before you even meet your spouse because
Mhm.
who knows what that joker's gonna come out like.
Yeah.
So if all of your identity and self-worth and happiness is wrapped up in a person, as we say this, my spouse is literally behind us
Literally
on
turn the
the
camera
couch
around. It's so ridiculous.
being absolutely ridiculous.
Anyways, hi a day.
Happy to see you. Now please.
Please exit the room. But yeah, we're we're definitely in a space, I think, where people are like finding out that this is not about passion.
Right. Sometimes a job is just a job that needs to get done. Like, do you think the person who's chopping up hamburger onions at White Castle has that as their
It's
passion?
very
I'm
specific. Like, are they
serious.
chopping those
Like,
or do
maybe
they come pre-chopped?
I think they chop them, I don't know. Or maybe they're flipping them. Let's just say they're flipping the onions. They're probably freeze dried when they get them or something.
Something.
But the person who's on onion duty, do you think they woke up and said, All I've ever wanted to do in life is ensure that onions are on these burgers"? Or did they say, "You know what? I need a job to pay these bills so I could have a roof over my head"?
Definitely the latter, because I don't think, yeah.
Everything does not have to be a
Although
passion.
cooked onions smell amazing,
They really do.
and now I'm hungry. Like, we do this, I feel like this is, like, a passion project for us,
Yeah,
like, where it's like, we get to talk to people and learn about their experiences, their life.
right.
Really, I mean, we would do that anyways as
That's
extroverts
true. As extroverts, I feel like we interview people anyway,
all the
so
time.
you might as well record
I need
it.
to know everything about you, right? Like, why
Right.
are you here?
Right,
What
why are
makes
you
you
here? How'd you
yeah,
get here? Who do
yeah,
you know?
yeah.
How did you
Who
do
influenced you
this?
to be this way?
Right.
Like,
Like, we have
why
all the questions
why do you
naturally.
wear these earrings with this outfit? Like, every question you could think of,
Yeah,
we've asked it probably.
right.
Um, Maybe too many questions. So, yeah, I think it's a good perspective to have, but I do think being able to have a job that you love too is great.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that, but it shouldn't be
It
everything.
shouldn't be everything, and also, if you don't love your job and it's just something to get you to where you need to be next,
Fine.
and you do it with, don't I'm not saying doing a terrible job at
No,
it,
do
but
your job,
just do your job so you can
please.
that's also fine too, and it also reminds me of, like, dissertation topics and
Mm,
advisors and
mhm.
how people often tell PhD students, "Oh, if the research isn't what you love and it wakes you up and it excites you and you just dream about derivatives in your head or whatever it is you
That's
study,"
all.
people act like, "Oh, something's wrong with you." But sometimes a project is a project and you're learning
Yep.
a skill set to help you do something else.
Mhm.
So I love to tell PhD students, like, sometimes it's a 80-20 where you might like it 80% and not like it 20% versus this 100% that everybody tells you. It needs to be something that you can do to get out the door.
Listen, I was at a 1090.
Right.
There was a
Right.
point where the dean of the graduate school and I had a conversation, and he was like, "Look, you need the degree. It
Correct.
doesn't matter what the degree focuses on. Get the piece of paper and get
The
up out of
paper.
here."
Yeah.
And it was almost, like, revolutionary for me
Yeah,
to
because
think,
everybody says the opposite.
"Wait, what? Like, I don't have to like these people? I don't have to like this work?
Or
I
this
just need."
topic, or these researchers, or this
And
anything. Right.
and, right? I just need a degree? Like, do you know how freeing that is?
Right. It's so
Where it's like,
freeing.
just do the work and get out.
Correct.
So I was like, "All right, I mean, I'll pick a thing. Imma do the thing.
Yeah.
Imma get up out of there." And that's what happened.
And that's what we're gonna do.
And here we are doing stuff we love.
And when's the last time you touched asphalt to,
I
like,
mean,
do
the
research on?
applicants were proud of it.
To do research on.
Couldn't tell you. I mean, 2017
Wow.
was the last time. I don't even like, we've had multiple publications come out.
Yeah.
I'm just watching them come out, with my work in there
Yeah.
because I'm done. I was done.
Right.
When I was done, I was done. I was finished.
Cut the cord.
Period. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's a good analogy, a good
Yeah.
segue. Okay, so what do people have to look forward to this season?
Ooh, um, I'm thinking about one of our, guests. We have someone who came on very non-traditionally into the space, so,
Mhm.
I think that will be a really interesting episode. We have, an episode that was chaos. Jess and, Tiffany.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we had an episode where there was chaos, where
Oh yeah.
we were doing an interview and then someone else came in and
Yeah.
interview and yeah,
Yeah.
so yes, so
Fun. Fun. Fun.
I have a feeling that's gonna be I'm probably gonna listen to that one a few times
I
because it
laughed a
was
lot.
funny.
I cried laughing during the interview process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fun when you interview folks that you've known for a while and
Mhm.
you can, like, you don't have to have that initial startup of, "Hey, let's get to know you." It's like, "Alright, so when you were doing this, what was going through your head?"
Yeah. Yeah. You can ask the real questions.
Right.
The real deep seated, like, why? Like, what? Like, we saw this. We saw it happen.
Right, but
We
why?
couldn't say anything at the time.
Right, but I saw that you saw. You saw me see that you
Oh
was
my
seeing
goodness,
me seeing.
yeah. Anyway, so there's a lot of that, and then, I got family on.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Ooh,
That's right.
finally.
Oh my gosh, she's my cousin now too.
Okay, yeah,
She's
and
really like, I still have her paper up right here. Like, seriously, it's that 3rd tab right there.
it's so ridiculous, ridiculous.
It's such a good episode.
Yeah.
It's really, really good.
And I think that's pretty much it.
So outside of the podcast, what else can they look forward to? We went live. I've been going live randomly as we're setting up. So if you miss us, you can
Yeah,
do
check
that.
it out.
We have a feature where during our recording, you can be part of the audience.
Mhm.
So we may be posting that in our Instagram stories. We don't really tell folks when we're going to record. So you just kind of have to watch.
Yeah, if you're there, cool, join, say hello.
Yeah, if you see us, and I'll probably try to put a link in our story to be in the audience.
Mhm.
So, and what that does is you can see us, no one can see you. But if you want to like contribute to the conversation, you can write in the chat. If you have a question, we do have the ability to bring you
Yeah,
onto the stage and into the conversation. So if you want to do that, be prepared, have your mic on, all that stuff.
have a face on.
Yeah, have a face on, beat your face if you need to.
Mm.
But we have that ability. What else have we? Do we have to look forward to? I
Yeah,
feel like there's
we
more.
might be at some other conferences and stuff. I think that's pretty much it. Like, if you wanna find us, we'll be
Yes,
places,
we'll be
probably,
places.
potentially, for sure in the fall.
We have some shirts
We have a lot of
that
shirts.
we're in the process of designing.
We have a lot of
I have a
shirts.
list with the fake computer scientist one.
Mhm. Yeah,
We
that was
have
supposed to happen, like, a year ago. It never happened. She doesn't believe in my fake
I
computer science
believe in
stuff.
it, but sometimes, like, I have to see something before I start executing, and I didn't have a vision yet
Yeah.
for it. So,
We're working on more grant proposals. We definitely want more sponsors. If you wanna
yes.
sponsor
If
us.
you wanna sponsor us, we have a whole sponsorship packet. You can sponsor an episode, sponsor a season, sponsor
Mhm.
a guest. If you want someone to come on and talk about what initiative you all have going on,
Yeah,
that
and
would be
if you
cool.
want us to come to you,
Yeah.
not for free,
Not for free. We need
we
money.
already do this for free. So if you want us to come, let us know.
Yeah,
Email us. Keynote.
that's
Talk.
true.
Talk. We got it. I think that's it.
I think that's it too. I would look at my notes, but they're all the way down there.
There's nothing else on the list.
Okay.
Unless there's just something else that you want to talk about.
I know there's something, but I'm completely
Look at my notes.
okay. We have shared notes. Let's see.
There's nothing else.
Yeah, this we already talked about. No, well, I was going to talk about the other. It is. It's right here. It's about the other shirts we had.
More shirts. Okay.
Yeah, there was fake computer scientist. There was where did it go?
You're just looking at it.
I know. Oh, I'm nosy for a living, a researcher.
Hmm.
That's the other one. And then there's another one
That's from
that's
an episode. Yeah.
yes. And I take pride in my coat, so like a pride shirt. So we have all of those that we've been talking about. Um we have been still doing the Black in academia. What do we call it?
Black academic something.
Yes, Black academic. We know what we're talking about. So, where we've been basically breaking down different parts of the academic process. So, we'll probably do some more of those episodes as well coming up with the two of us. Tell us if you like that. I'm trying to get started a CS plus X. Um, CS plus X series where X is something that's not directly in computer science. We have about 5 different people that I've met throughout this year, mostly this year. So CS plus fashion, CS plus dance, plus agriculture, plus all these different things. So if you have ideas for that, or if you're someone in a novel space that uses computer science in a really cool way or a different way in another discipline, definitely talk to us about that.
Yeah. And NCWIT is doing a similar series. It's just not Black women. So we talked about it.
We could be Black women.
Yeah. Yeah. Hmm.
Okay, that's it. That's all.
Okay. Well, thank y'all for joining us, for hanging out with us.
Yes.
Hopefully you enjoy this season. It won't be the last, according to Kyla.
No, we're getting to episode 100.
We're
We
very
we
close.
need a 3-digit episode number. Like that is my goal. Oh yeah, if you have somebody that you think would be great to be on the podcast, CC us in an email with that person
Mhm.
so you can help us make the connection.
Yep.
So
We don't necessarily need that person at this point because the list is too long.
the list is long, but
But if they're
sometimes
excellent, amazing, and awesome and wonderful, and we just need to interview them,
yeah.
we totally get it. Send it to us.
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
All right, y'all. Bye.
Bye. The smile.
I was trying to